Hey there. Gonna give you guys a few moments to come on in. We're live on Facebook, and for those of you who are coming in now, give me a little shout out. Tell me who you are or where you're listening or watching from so that I know this is working. That would be step number one to make sure this is actually working. So, hey, okay, I think some of you are coming in now. So if you're coming in, give me a quick little shout out and tell me where you're watching from, okay? I just want to make sure that technically we are sound before I put too much energy into this. That would be bad. That would be really bad. And thank you, by the way, for being here. My experience with Facebook Live and just the little bit that I've done over the past couple of weeks is that the comments show up for the most part, but they're always delayed. So it never, like, I'm not seeing any comments yet, and I trust that those of you who are here are commenting because I asked you to please tell me where you're watching from so that I know this is working. So throw me a comment. You guys, I'm not seeing anything yet, so I just want to be sure. I am so glad that you're here. I'm going to take a minute and introduce myself because the way this works, I believe that there are probably people who are watching, who are chiming in right now, who are very unfamiliar with me or my brand. Thanks, Trendon. Okay, so Trendon, I just barely saw your comment and I'm curious. Hey, Kelly, I'm wondering if you guys just literally said these things, wrote those things, or if it really came through that delayed, because it seemed like it took a little while. So, but it's so great to see several of you, dozens of you coming in now. And we're going to be diving into such a fantastic topic, and I'm really excited to talk about it. Hey, Jen. Hey, Christina. But I will go ahead and just take a moment to introduce myself, and I would love for you guys to introduce yourselves as well. I get to see at least most of your comments. It's great to see where you're coming here from. Allison, you're saying comments are delayed with Facebook Live. That's my observation as well. Hi, Tony. Thank you for telling me that you're here and making sure this works. Hey, Deborah. So a quick introduction I think that some of you are already familiar with me and our brand, but some of you are not. And so I would love to just tell you the relevance of me chatting on Facebook Live and why it even matters. Hey, from Maryland, that's my hometown. I'm a Maryland girl myself, born and raised outside of the nation's capital, a Maryland girl from the very, very small town part of Maryland, little teeny tiny town. So, hey, Denise. Okay, so the quick intro that I was going to actually get to, and I'm going to try not to get too distracted, but I do love your comments, thank you, is that I have a company that is, we produce the system of scrapbooking called Project Life. Most, if not all of you, are familiar with Project Life. If you're not familiar with Project Life, it is essentially the kind of the game changer in our industry. I have been a part of this industry for 20 years plus, and since I was a kid, kind of. And it really is an industry that scares a lot of people away from actually preserving their memories. Isn't that sad? And yet there's such a fun element to being creative, right? The conflict is that anyone who feels like, I don't have time for that, I'm not creative, all these other feelings that come with that, there has to be a solution for people who feel that way. And I strongly believe that you don't have to be highly creative or have a full room dedicated to this hobby or have hours upon hours available to do scrapbooking. I really, truly, with all of my heart and soul, believe that. And that's why I started a company. So my background is with creating Keepsakes magazine. It's a scrapbooking magazine, and I was their creative editor for 12 years. In my 20s, I published 9 books. So I do have a past life of sharing and really diving in deep to scrapbooking, page design, and creative ideas for how to preserve your memories. And then everything kind of switched when I decided to create a system that kind of took away all of that fuss and said, we don't have to do all of that. Let's try something really simple. So if you are not familiar with Project Life, I invite you to visit the Becky Higgins YouTube channel, and right there you will see on our landing page a video called Welcome to Project Life. Check it out. It's a 4-minute long video. It is short, and you can learn all about, you can get the bird's eye view of like what this is all about, okay? So Thanks, Christina. By far the best stuff ever. Completely changed how I do all my scrapbooking. Makes it so much easier and fun. No stress. And then she says LOL, and I would say that's not even funny. That is so real right there. No stress. How do I not age? Oh, I'm aging, trust me. That's so nice of you, Sarah. Okay, so we're talking about organization today. Are you guys ready for this? Like, are you ready? Because I'm really going there. And organization can be a total scary topic, and I love it. I love talking about it. And so that's what we're gonna talk about. I have a question. What does organization have anything to do with my company or my brand? Well, there's the thing. So the tagline that I coined years ago when I started this company is cultivate a good life and record it. That's what I believe. That's at my core, right? That's everything that I believe happens to tie back to two things. And everything that I share ties back to those same two things. Cultivate a good life. Do your very best. Live your best life. Be conscientious and intentional with your decisions, and do your very best to have the best life possible, right? And then record it. Now, recording it is subjective, and it can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. For me, memory keeping, it's what I live and breathe. It's scrapbooking, it's making videos with my iMovie app, it's using my app, the Project Life app, to scrapbook, it's using chapbooks, it's trying lots of different things, right? I love all of it. So when it comes to cultivating a good life and recording it, that's where organization does very much play a role in everything that I do, because I believe that organizing our stories and our memories matters, right? If you're going to preserve your stories and your memories, then in some way, at some level, you are organizing. And so organization very much is a part of me personally. It's a part of my brand. It's a part of my company, my organization, and it's a part of what I care about and sharing. Okay, so that is what we're going to be talking about today. So I was asking you guys, are you ready for this? Because I do have a question for you. I have a question for you. Okay, I want you to tell me one thing in your life that you feel like you need to organize. I bet you got something. I just have to wait for the delay on Facebook for your comments to show up. I'm going to read some of the past comments. Oh, hey, maybe I should do an organizational book like Marie Kondo. Let's talk about Marie Kondo for a minute. She wrote the book, also known as #KonMarie, but Marie Kondo wrote the book on decluttering, right? The one that so many of us have read, or at least we've heard about it, and that's good stuff. Read the book, actually listened to the audio version with my husband so we could be on board together. Excellent stuff, people. Really changes the way that you think about your stuff, and I love it. And I have already done a live video broadcast about that very topic of decluttering based on her book, and you can catch that live video broadcast, which I did way before Facebook Live even existed. I did it on Periscope, but we saved the video to our YouTube channel. So if you go to YouTube and you search Becky Higgins, because we have a channel there, you'll see a whole category for Periscope. And so you can find, you can even search on YouTube, search Becky Higgins decluttering, and you'll find it, okay? So now I'm seeing all of your comments. Okay, this is all the stuff that you guys feel like you need to organize. Photos, digital photos, my whole life. A lot of you saying photos, meal planning, groceries, my office. You are lost in wedding decorations. Oh yeah, okay, papers, kids' artwork, your house, pictures, toys, pictures, school work, oh, kids' school work, kids' toys, kitchen, bills, memorabilia, pictures again. All right, awesome. Yeah, I'm just scrolling through your comments and seeing your closet, plus your Project Life supplies. Oh, memorabilia, schoolwork from kids, closet, laundry room. Okay, cool. So you guys have a lot of things that you feel like you need to organize. And I have a sense that some of you are feeling completely overwhelmed by the very idea. Some of you are feeling motivated, like just tell me this formula so I can get to work. Good for you. I'm glad that you're already there. So I want to talk about something specific with organization that has impacted my own personal approach to organization for a long time, probably about 15 plus years. And I don't remember exactly when I read this book, but I did read a book by author Julie Morgenstern. If you want to write that down. If you guys are note takers, by the way, get your pen and paper handy because I'm going to tell you a few things that you might want to write down. Okay, this is good stuff. So Julie Morgenstern is an author. She's been on Oprah. She's kind of big time. She's a professional organizer. Now, disclaimer, I don't read a lot of books on organization. I feel innately organized, and I'm not organized perfectly in every area of my life. Trust me. If you look on my social media, you're gonna see inside some of my cupboards, and you're gonna see that my life is not perfectly organized. I don't think that that's reality for most people, right? But I do love it, and I do try to implement it as much as possible. Great. Okay, so let's go back to this book. So about 15 or so years ago, I read this book by Julie Morgenstern. Shoot, what's the name of it? Organizing from the Inside Out, I think is what it's called. And if you Google Julie Morgenstern, you'll find it, okay? So here's the deal. She shared something that we'll call a formula for organizing that is the bomb diggity. It completely, I probably shouldn't say that. I'm 39. I'm not supposed to say that, am I? Bomb diggity. I'm not supposed to, I won't say that again, okay? All right, so she said something that has stuck with me. You wanna know why? Because it is totally applicable in so many areas of life. It's an acronym. You know why I like acronyms? Because they help us remember. The acronym is SPACE. So boys and girls, this is what we're talking about today. We are talking about SPACE. S-P-A-C-E. Here you go. Ready? SPACE. I'm going to tell you. S stands for sort. P is purge. A is assign. C is containerize. E is equalize. Got it? I'm not going to quiz you on this later. I'm going to say it again later, okay? That's just a quick overview. Now, let me tell you what each of these things means. So before I do that, I want you to think about the thing that's in your mind that you need to organize, whether it's your laundry room or your home office or your scrapbooking stuff or your photos and memorabilia or whatever. And on that note of scrapbooking, by the way, many of you are familiar with Project Photo Rescue. This is a big initiative that I've been really focusing on for the last while now. And it's something that is basically helping a lot of people figure out their hot mess of memory keeping in general, right? Like where do I go with my stuff and how do I organize my memories? And I've done all these scrapbooks in my past, but I don't even know what I have and I don't even know how to move forward, or I've never even started scrapbooking. I don't even know where to begin, okay? So all of those problems that everybody has with photos and memories, I'm like giving it a big hug. And I'm calling it Project Photo Rescue, and I'm here to help, okay? So you can, in fact, there's a whole Project Photo Rescue playlist on our YouTube channel. You guys have a lot of homework to do. If you have not been up on our videos, you gotta go over to YouTube, check out the Becky Higgins channel, and check out all those videos. Okay, so if you know about Project Photo Rescue, and if you've been catching all my little hints and my tips and the things that we've been sharing, you know that the way that I suggest organizing certain things, it's gonna be a little different for everybody because we're not all cut from the exact same cloth, right? Like we have different situations. So when I go through this acronym with you right now for the next few minutes, I want you to keep in mind that this applies to you, to your stuff. So even though this is not a one-on-one conversation and it's a one-on hundreds or thousands of people, and I can't talk to each of you individually and help you with your specific thing. I believe that what Julie shared in her SPACE acronym does apply across the board. Let's go. Ready? S, space, or sort. Okay, the first thing is to sort, okay? So why is that important to be first? Anyone know? This would be so much easier if we could just all hang out together in my conference room. This is so weird having a one-way conversation, but chime in. Even though I'm gonna see it delayed, I want you to chime in however you want. You need to identify what's important to you and you need to group those into similarity groups. That's what sorting is. So let's take your home office, for example. You're gonna be sorting, yes, Jenica, like items together. That's what it is. You're gonna be sorting all of your pens, pencils, and writing instruments together. You're gonna put all of your papers together. You're going to put all of your office supplies together. If you scrapbook in your home office, for example, you're going to put all of your scrapbooking supplies together. Now, Keep in mind, if you really want to make this a big project, and sometimes you kind of have to, it's going to get real messy before it gets organized. So when I say bring these things together, I'm suggesting, and it's been 15 years since I've read Julie's book, so I don't remember any of the details of what she suggested. I just remember the acronym, and I just have applied it however it works for me. I would suggest that you consider taking over your space. So if you have a home office, for example, I'm just using that example, and you bring everything into that space that needs to be organized, I actually mean like pulling things out of drawers, opening your cupboards, like dump central. Okay, so sort is the first step. It's really important to do this. Let me tell you why. Again, my interpretation. I don't remember what Julie said. I'm going to give you my interpretation. The reason why this is an acronym that starts with S and then goes P-A-C-E is because so many people, when they are organizing, go out of order. Does the order matter? It kind of does. Yeah. You know why? You know what? You know what you guys and I have all done? We skip straight to the C. We are walking through Target. Okay, C is containerized. We're walking through Target. We see the cutest bin. It is so my color. It is so cute. It's gonna go so good in my house and I love it. And so I'm gonna buy it and I'm gonna bring this container in my house and then what do I do with this? Where does it go? What's it holding? I don't know, I got it, it's cute. Okay, that's called impulsive shopping, boys and girls. Okay, so that's something that a lot of people do is they skip straight to the C, but wait on the C. Don't go there, don't go to the containers yet. You will get to have that fun, but first you gotta start with the S. Okay, yeah, Jenica, so many empty bins, right? Right, how many of you have so many empty cute bins? Mia or Maya just did that at TJ Maxx on Saturday and now she has 3 boxes on the office floor. Yeah, Target can be dangerous, Kelly, I totally agree. Absolutely. Katie says, I'm a containeraholic. Yeah. Tammy's saying, yeah, that's me. Okay, so that's the thing. And we just have to kind of admit that that's what we do. Okay, so sort first. Let's go through the order of this. The next thing is purge. Oh, I just said something else that people do out of order. Ooh, okay. Have you ever dived into an organizational project and you just start seeing stuff that you're like, I need to get rid of this. And you just start chucking stuff. You know what I'm saying? You're like, oh, I got to get rid of this. Okay, good for you that you've decluttered, and that's good for you that you are actually purging. That's a good thing. Purging is a good thing. We're on P, which stands for purge. I'm a big fan of decluttering, for sure. But you gotta sort first. Gotta be in order. Why does that even matter? Because if you, let's go back to the office space organization. If you're in your home office and you just see a bunch of pens and you're like, I don't even use these anymore, I'm just gonna toss them and whatever, and then you go to actually make your categories and you're like, oh, I only have 4 pens in my entire house. Well, maybe you shouldn't have thrown so many away just because you got declutter happy, right? Sort first, bring all of those pens together, and then it makes sense to purge. Then it makes sense. You guys, yeah? Are you getting this? This is really important. Hey, Steph, good to see you here, girl. So this is really important because once you've sorted the piles first, then you have this opportunity to purge, and only then does it make the most sense because you've made your piles, you know how much you have of that particular category. Now, a lot of you are scrapbookers, so let me just talk about that for a minute. This is so applicable. If you are a scrapbooker with all the supplies, and again, scrapbooking doesn't have to have all the supplies, you guys. You can totally do Project Life, which is just slipping your photos and the pre-designed cards into pockets. And you don't have to have all the stuff. Newsflash. But since some of you really do love all the stuff, and that's totally fine, then you really do want to sort all of those things first, right? So all the brads and eyelets together, all the ribbon, all the colored cardstock, all the, okay. So sort into piles, and then that's when you go through and you decide, you know what? I have too much ribbon and I need to get rid of some of it. Or I have too much of whatever, and then you get rid of it. So S, sort. P, purge. And that right there is that whole book on decluttering that is so good. Marie Kondo, read it. Read it. It's good stuff, okay? SPA. What does A stand for? What? A, assign. Assign. What does that even mean? Well, this is the part where you assign where in the world, in that space of yours, is this going to go. So once you've sorted your piles and you've purged, now you're left with your purged piles. Okay? So you have what is left of each of these categories or these types of things. So then you look around your space, whether it's your laundry room, your home office, your bedroom, your closet, whatever, and you go, okay, where do I want this stuff? Do I want it in this corner of the room? Do I want it against that wall? Do I need it by my bedside? Does it need to be in a closet? Where does it make sense? And please think through that. Where does it make sense? So for example, if I'm organizing kids stuff, does it make sense to have it super high up where they can't reach? Well, actually, that might be a smart strategy, but stick with me. You probably want it at their level, right? And by the way, Dottie's saying, Marie is crazy. She empties her purse every day. Yeah, some of the stuff she says is like, it seems a little extreme and far-fetched, but Dottie, your responsibility and mine in reading that book or any book is you take from it what you deem valuable and applicable to you. Just like this conversation right here. I'm going to continue sharing my takeaway from this SPACE acronym, but you will not actually want to apply every single thing, or maybe you do, but if you don't, then take from it what you can. Okay. Hi, Ari. Okay, so SPA, assign. So then you assign where this stuff is gonna go. Then you get to go to C, which is containerize, and that's the really fun part, because then you go, all right, so now I've decided it's gonna be in this part of my house, or this part of my garage, or this part of my bedroom. Now, this stuff cannot sit in a pile on my floor. I won't allow it. Don't allow it. Okay, because that pile will sit there for a year and a half, and then you'll go, oh, it's still weighing on my shoulders. This pile and this junk is still sitting. Yeah, because you gotta containerize it. So for many of us, containerizing is the fun part. That's where I invite you to walk through the aisles of the store, and you check out what is there, and you buy the product or the container that makes sense. Yeah, you want it to be cute, but does it make sense? Okay, with me on that? All right, so you assign where in the room it's going to be. You containerize. I am going to pull a direct quote from what Julie Morgenstern said when it comes to containerizing. She says, make sure they're sturdy, easy to handle, the right size, and that they look good. The art of containerizing is to do it last, not first. Did I bring that up? Right? Yeah, because containerizing, that is so commonly happening too soon. So really, once you've sorted, once you've purged, once you've assigned where it's gonna go, and then you containerize, you put all your stuff in containers. The E, equalize, is so important. Hello, Nicole in Kansas. And thank you, Tammy. I'm glad this is helpful for you. And Lori, and Tammy, and Jennifer. Okay, so equalize means to spend 15 minutes every day. Now, this is Julie's recommendation. Spend 15 minutes a day to maintain what you've done. I'm gonna say that 15 minutes is, it's whatever you wanna do. If it's a 5-minute thing, great. If it's a 20-minute thing, great. Do whatever you need to do. The word equalize means to spend an equal amount of time every day tidying up, keeping on top of whatever you have set up. So at this point of doing space, sorting, purging, assigning, containerizing, basically organizing, whatever efforts you put into organizing, you don't want to mess that up. You don't want to organize every 4 weeks. You don't want to go through this again and again and again and again, right? And get frustrated with your system. You've set up a system. Good for you. So in order to keep up with the system, thanks for the love, Tammy, that's so sweet. That is the hardest part, is getting it all organized. Once it's organized, if you do that last step, that E for equalize, you have to stay on top of it. Miriam's saying tidying is so key. Totally agree with you. Spend just a little bit of time just tidying up or staying on top of that system, and it will make your system sustainable. And That's the key, really, okay? So we don't have to talk about this for too much longer. I mean, we can literally just end this anytime. But I want to take your questions. And there is a delay between you asking the questions and me seeing them. So please ask your questions. I'm going to try to catch what you're saying. Taylor says, my husband seriously needs to learn about equalizing. Taylor, I'm going to challenge you to talk to your husband about space and tell him what the equalizing, means to you. Who cares what I say? I want you to tell him what you think about equalizing every day, all right? Michelle asks, who is the Purge Lady book? Can you imagine me known as the Purge Lady? That's pretty funny. So her name is Marie Kondo, K-O-N-D-O, K-O-N-D-O, Marie Kondo. You can Google it and it will come right up. She wrote a book that is about decluttering, and ironically it has the most cluttered title I've ever seen. I can never remember it. It's like the art of tidying, something decluttering, tidying is magic, something like, it's ridiculous, but it's a good book. And she does get a little like out there in some parts, but you know what? She shared her expertise, and even though she seems a little out there in some of the things that she does and talking to her clothes and stuff like that, I see what she's saying. I totally followed that whole book. And while I didn't adopt every single thing in every single way, and it really is a whole topic for another day, it's a solid book. Okay. Polly says equalizing is a great concept, one that we can teach our children as well. Absolutely. I just talked with my kids on Saturday about space. In fact, that's how all of this came up is, oh my stars. You are so cute, Tracy. She says, Dave Ramsey, Marie Kondo, and Becky Higgins are everything in this house. You know, I happen to be a fan of Dave Ramsey and Marie Kondo as well. The life-changing magic of tidying up is what Christina's saying. Thank you. And Sarah and Jenica. Okay. I don't even know what I was just saying. Oh, my kids on Saturday. So a lot of this came up because on Saturday, just this past week, I decided, which I typically do on weekends, like, okay, what do we need to get on top of? What's our project today? And so as a family, or just me and David or whatever. So David and I decided together, we wanted to really just organize all of the kids' creative materials. Because what was happening is our home office, which is totally a family home office, right? It's not just mine or David's or the kids, it's all of us are in there. And at my kids' ages, and again, this is where it's very personal because I wouldn't say that everyone would have the same situation, but for us, we don't have babies and toddlers anymore. Our youngest is turning 8 soon, and our oldest is 13 going on 14. They're all old enough to manage the organization pretty well, right? Like, I mean, with a lot of training, right? But that's where this comes in, this training. Train your kids. Teach them about space. Teach them. I want to hear how that goes. I have a blog post that I'm going to write about this whole experience of not this experience, the experience I had with my kids on Saturday, and I'm going to put it on the blog probably next week that walks you through what we've done and how we've used the SPACE acronym, this organizational strategy to really organize all of my kids' creative materials. And so to finish my thought, what I was saying is that all this stuff was in our home office, which is fine. It's been fine for all these years, 10 years that we've been in this house. But lately, David and I are feeling like this isn't fine anymore because every time he or I will go into the office to work on a project or pay some bills or do whatever, it's like overrun by the kids' stuff. And listen, if anybody wants to encourage creativity in their kids, it's me. I am all for cultivating that creativity and those activities in my child's life, right? In our children's lives. And so creativity comes with mess. And that's where we're like, you know, we need to separate this. They can totally do homework in the home office, but let's separate, and so they can have their own devoted, dedicated space that they can learn on their own how to keep organized and clean and tidied, but still be totally creative. And I'll get into that in the blog post, but that's how this all came about, is on social media. Right here on Facebook and also on Instagram, I shared pictures of what we were doing and kind of a little bit of the progress. And it was a process, and we totally formally taught our kids all about space, and they have it memorized. They love it. They think it's really cool that it spells something, and it makes sense to them because I told them it makes sense, right? This is what we do with our kids. We tell them what we think makes a good, makes us, helps us to cultivate a good life. Okay, now let me scroll back up to your comments, and then we'll end this kind of soon. All right, let's see. What do you do with purged things? Christina's asking. Garage sale, donation. You do whatever makes sense for you. Now, purging, for me, to answer the question, because you're asking me, some stuff goes straight to the trash because it is truly trash, garbage. Most of it is donated. Our favorite place to donate to is called Deseret Industries. And I don't know that every state has it, but we love it. They do it's called DI, Deseret Industries, has so many behind the scenes amazing programs that help teach and train people for careers and jobs and they really encourage self-reliance in anyone who's involved. And this is all behind the scenes. And so personally, I love to donate to DI because I know of everything that they're doing behind the scenes, and it's valuable and awesome. And yeah. So donation, garage sale. We used to do garage sales. We've actually done several garage sales, and we've made some good cash, which was nice that we could turn around and have that cash for what we needed at the time. It's been a long time since we've done a garage sale because at this stage in our life, we've become more of the donators. We like to donate, and some of our donations do go to family and friends. We have a lot of people in our life that we love, that we know could probably benefit from such and such items, and so we check with them first. If no one needs it, we donate it to Deseret Industries. That's kind of our rhythm. Okay, let's see. Other questions? Christy, you're saying newbie here. Welcome. Just started using your system. She's talking about Project Life. She says, I have 5 huge containers with all the kits, papers organized, so when I scrapbook, it's easy to go to this container to pick. To choose the 3x4 and 4x6 to add to my picks. Okay, if you don't know what Project Life is, none of that will make any sense to you, but it makes perfect sense to me, Christy, and thanks for sharing that. Yeah, if you're doing Project Life, this system of scrapbooking is basically the physical version of it says you don't need to actually have all of these embellishments and tools and gadgets and all this stuff for scrapbooking. You literally can just slip things into pockets with these pre-designed journaling cards. Again, if you're just joining us now, check out Welcome to Project Life by Becky Higgins on YouTube. Just search it. Spend 4 minutes understanding from a bird's eye view what that even means. And I promise you it will make sense. It's a great way to scrapbook. So at that point, when you do decide that if Project Life is what you want to do, and that's the easier way to scrapbook, and if you have the physical version of it, because we also have digital, we also have the app. Okay, if you do the physical version, then you do want to keep all of your Project Life cards together. Yeah, so good, Christy, good for you. Okay, Jenica, where did you put their space? Ooh, I didn't tell you that. Yeah, so we have a bonus room that came with this house that we moved into 10 years ago. It's called a bonus room because it's not a bedroom. It doesn't have a door on it. It's just kind of a big open space in our upstairs. It's near the kids' bedrooms, and that's where it is. And it just works for us. It makes total sense. That is their space. Hey, Michelle. Good to see you here, friend. Let's see. April, thank you. She's saying, thanks for all your tips lately, Becky. It's been so inspiring to me, and I am really glad that you're feeling that way. And you too, Tammy. Thank you. And Jenica, wow, you guys, that's so nice. I am really grateful. I share a lot, and I fully recognize that. I do share a lot on social media, live video, YouTube. It's just kind of what I have always done. I appreciate valuable content, and so that's what I'm trying to produce and share for you as well. Okay, good. Carrie's feeling inspired as well. All right, so one last question. Caitlin says, do you keep birthday, Easter, holiday cards from family members that are given to your kids? Loaded question. I'm going to answer it this way. Please do what feels right for you. I'm going to tell you what I do, but it's not the right answer for everybody. This is so important in scrapbooking. There are so many people in scrapbooking who just throw out advice and say, this is what you should do. And it's like, oh, it makes me cringe when that happens because you don't know their situation. What I would advise to Tracy is going to be different than what I would say to Catherine based on their situation. And since I don't know all of your situations, I'm just going to tell you my situation. I am a lifetime documenter. I have been doing this forever and always. And so I have saved a lot of stuff. That means I'm not hurting for things that remind us of people that we love, because I've preserved a ton of it, including so many of those cards in said question. So what do I do now? Because we have oodles and oodles of all of this, most of them go in the trash. Now, not everything. I said most of them. When we receive a handwritten letter, any of us, we keep those. If it's a handwritten, thoughtful letter, if it's just a birthday card that says, love Joey, like, yeah, that kind of ends up in the trash. Sorry, Joey. We actually don't know Joey, so that was a good fake name. But I just, it has to mean something. So beginning with the end in mind, and thank you, Stephen Covey, I use this all the time, this principle, begin with the end in mind. Beginning with the end in mind, I think, how important is this card going to be, going to feel to me, to my child, or to my husband in 10 years or 50 years? That's what I do. That's what I ask myself. And a lot of those cards, as thoughtful as they are, they get thrown away because we cannot keep everything, guys. I mean, if we literally keep everything, we are officially hoarders. I'm just gonna say it. Let's not be hoarders. Let's be thoughtful memory keepers. Let's keep what means something to us because it matters to us, or we think it will matter to us in the future. You know what I'm saying? So that was a really roundabout way to answer the question, but I hope that you kind of get what I'm saying. It's very subjective. It's very personal. You have to feel comfortable with it. You shouldn't just go with what I'm saying that I do. So, okay. All right, so I'm gonna end there. You guys are fabulous for being here, and hello again to all of my replay viewers, because that's where most people will be seeing this. And we'll see you again soon. I'll be on Facebook Live again in the near future. I don't know when, but I'm loving the live video. It's really cool to do this with you and spend this time with you guys. So, all right, see you later.